Welcome to Maison Otaku. Come in, have a seat. Just me today, doing a little special episode for you, a mini-sode if you will. Just talking about some of the stuff I saw at Colossalcon. Had a great time. Record attendance this year from what I know. Not only the Kalahari Resort where it's at was completely sold out about 4 months ago, but about their 5 overflow hotels were completely sold out on top of that, so we're probably looking at attendance in the 4,000 to 5,000 area. Waiting for the numbers to come back in, but it's pretty packed, pretty awesome. Also, shout out to the guy who actually came up to me the first day I was there, right after registration, saying, "Hey, are you the guy from Maison Otaku?" Granted, I know who you are, and I totally suck because I forgot your name. But you know who you are, and you're completely freaking awesome. Yeah, but a lot of interesting stuff. Usual, you know, crammed hotel room full of people. If you've never been to a convention, that's kind of a standard. You basically shove as many people into your room as possible, so as few people as possible have to pay for it, at least pay full price. Although it was kind of the weekend of the asshole phones, as some people didn't think to turn off their alarms that for some reason they had set somewhere between 4 and 7 in the morning, which is a pain in the ass when you get to sleep at around 3 or 4 yourself, so... But, whatever, staggering around the con being sleep-deprived is another convention regular. But yeah, a lot of fun stuff going on. Some really cool panels. Actually attended a very interesting panel about, doing a home arcade. And one of the interesting things I found out, as you will recall in our last episode, we talked about Virtual On. Turns out that because the collector market only makes up for a small portion of the sales of arcade machines, their value is mostly based on their earning potential, and because, as we said, a Virtual On machine is so big and no one's ever on it, at least according to the guy running this who has his own collection of various machines, you can sometimes get a Virtual On machine for as cheap as 150, 200 bucks. Mind you, you'd have to pay shipping or go out and pick it up yourself, which is going to cost you a bit extra, but that is still stupid cheap. I mean, granted, it's not always going to be that, but it can be as low as that, so that's very exciting. If I but had the room. Let's see, what else was cool there that I went to. Very cool panel, actually, discussing Resident Evil versus Silent Hill. The panelist had fans of either get on either side of the room, and he would bring up various things, and they'd each state their case. That was pretty cool. Actually, one thing that really struck a chord with me this year, last year, now this isn't a written rule, sort of a rule of thumb, if you're in a panel room waiting for the panelists to show up, and it's been 15 minutes, 20 minutes or so, and they're not there, you basically have free run to Shanghai the panel and run whatever you want, which I did last year. And it's funny because this one guy who must have been in the audience actually recognized me and came up to me and said, "Hey, are you doing a panel this year?" Because, you know, it was like really fun and really informative. I basically gave a crash course in some classic anime, but I mean, that really actually kind of touched me in a way, because it's like, kind of validates what we're doing here, you know. Just makes it feel like it's all worth it that I'm even reaching out to, you know, like 1 or 2 people there. If there are any of you out there in my current audience that, you know, I'm actually reaching and you're like, "Hey, this guy's talking about some pretty cool stuff," I thank you greatly for that, because that means a lot to me and to Justin. But another cool thing, you always have guests there. Lisa Ortiz was there this year. I believe this is her 3rd year going there. She's cool as shit. If you ever get a chance to meet her, go do it. She's really down to earth, very friendly, loves her fans, loves her, you know, all the stuff she works on. I actually found out something very interesting with her. because she's been in the game for a very long time, back to the early days of Central Park Media. Actually got a job there because of a stolen car, but I'll let you ask her about that story if you ever get a chance. But anyway, so she's done a million and one things in the industry, and apparently now she actually is heading her own production company. Or if it's not her own, she's at least one of the lead members, so that was pretty interesting to find out. She had a Q&A panel, which is where I found all this out. Actually, got this picture taken with her finally. You don't let the face fool you. Don't read too much into that. I'm not about to go all, perfect blue on her. That's just me being horribly sleep deprived, as I stated. But, anyway, getting off of that, you of course have, all the various, cosplays out there. Very interesting thing. Now I saw a lot of Sailor Moons, which is not surprising because of, as we talked about the recent reissue. Weird thing was, there was like a million freaking Kikis. I think I saw like 5 or 6 of them. But instead of tell you about all the great cosplays, I'll just show you a little slideshow here.
So, let's see, starting things off, we actually have a pretty cool Warhammer 40k cosplay, Imperial Guardsman. Don't see that too often. Says pretty cool. Got Richter Belmont. Haven't seen that in a while. Pretty good. Was it Ed from Cowboy Bebop? Interesting one. Got female Ash from the Evil Dead series. This one here is my friend Misa, who was rooming with us, dressed as the Major, of course, from Ghost in the Shell. This one's pretty awesome right here. We have Unico, and very awesome costume, and this girl's dad actually put the whole thing together for her. And it's funny because we saw this in a panel about old school anime conventions, and my cousin looks over and he kind of scoffs at it because at first he's like thinking it's a My Little Pony costume, and then I look over and I'm like, nah dude, I think that's Unico. And so that was pretty sweet to see. Let's see, these next 2 slides were actually at a Legend of Zelda theory panel where he had all the Legend of Zelda cosplayers who came like stand up or sit in front of the panel and whatnot, so got a picture with them afterwards. This one here I actually took for my friend. She's a big Resident Evil fan and is a huge Leon Kennedy fan, so a couple of really cool Ranma cosplays. I never see someone dressing as Shampoo's great-grandma, so that's pretty awesome. And of course a Shampoo cosplay, so that worked out. Gandalf, always cool to see. Pretty good Mad Moxie. Grand Admiral Thrawn, that was pretty cool to see. Admittedly, I lost some otaku points that weekend, because when I called out to get a picture, for some reason I blurted out Grand Moff Tarkin, and I'm like, ugh. So that was a derp moment. Also, I was unable to bring my Xeon cosplay with me, because I just finished moving, and it's buried, but I got a picture of someone else who was representing for me, so that was pretty cool. Then, of course, we have Master Roshi, who is, I think actually getting a picture taken with a Bulma cosplayer, who I just missed getting a picture of, so. This is one of the many Kikis I saw here. Like I said, there was like 5 or 6 girls dressed like this. This is one of the better ones I saw. Then a Kashan cosplay, or Kashurn, depending on what you want to go by. This was freaking... And I just saw this passing in the hallway, so I'm like, yeah, I gotta get a picture of this. Then, of course, here some my cousin took. We have really nice Yoshi cosplay. Someone doing Gem, that was interesting. Don't see that ever. Then this really nice, was it Guile and Cammy costume. And here's the one with Cammy with Ulala in the background. I don't have a picture of this one, but there was this one girl who was cosplaying Cammy, and let's just say the backside of her outfit was accurate to the original character design, and I'm like sitting down doing some stuff while she's standing next to me, and the whole time I'm just thinking to myself, don't stare at her butt, don't stare at her butt, don't stare at her butt. So, anyway, Let's see. Got a Princess Mononoke cosplay. Saw a few of those. Pretty nice Peach. Here's a cool one of the Dovahkiin. He's like, my cousin saw this and he's like, hey, act like you're attacking this elephant statue, and then just immediately, like, everyone wanted to get pictures of it, so that was pretty cool. Here's one of me getting killed by a random link we saw in the hallway. And this one right here, I actually didn't see this one myself. Again, this is one my cousin took of a pretty cool Krang costume. I haven't seen one of these, I don't think, ever, so props to that guy. And one last one here, the Krang kind of brings me to this because, you know, for as simple as it is, it's pretty accurate, and sometimes you can just go crazy with just the little details making something pretty accurate. So, on the note of cosplay, I leave you with this extremely accurate Ryoko cosplay. I really don't think I need to explain to any of you why this is completely awesome. Let's see. Here's just some pictures of some stuff we went to. Legend of the Galactic Heroes panel. This was cool. It was what was it? Yeah, that was Ghibli Beyond Miyazaki, so that was pretty cool. This is a music video my cousin introduced me to. I'm not going to subject you to it here, but if you really want to look at it, I'll leave a link in the description. And while I'm at it, just show you some other stuff. This is my buddy Dave. He's always working reg, and he actually works registration at a bunch of different cons. If you see this man, buy him a drink, buy him something to eat. He is there freaking... He maybe got 5 or 6 hours of sleep the whole con. This guy works hard to make sure you get your stuff ready, so show him some love if you see him. Another picture my cousin took just to do break dancing at the rave. That was pretty sweet. And this is us just all together in our room. And of course, this here is what we look like after we're all conned out. So you can just see the enthusiasm in our faces. And lastly, this is what you can expect your room to look like after a weekend at a con. Of course, we're not complete assholes. We, cleaned this up so the maids didn't have to deal with it, but yeah, just snacks abound everywhere. Garbage piled off to the side neatly. Snacks everywhere else. And of course, when you've stuffed as many people as you possibly can into a relatively small hotel room, one of them is going to be sleeping in the closet. I'm not even going to narrate this picture, just we opened the closet one morning and this is what we saw.
So that's basically what was going on with all that, like I said. Cramped room, crazy stuff with that. Another really awesome thing this year was the game room. I walked in there, expecting to see some of the usual stuff, which, I mean, there was quite a bit of that, a lot of rhythm games, Halo, Call of Duty, whatnot. But then you walk in the back corner, and there's all these really nice arcade machines. I got to play, there's this nice multi-cade with, finally got to play Juno First, really nice classic game. Got to play the original, oh my god, Gyrus, very fun. But also, like, some newer stuff there, because, newer. Got to play an Ikaruga arcade. Freaking love that thing. And I want to hug whoever brought in an arcade machine of Windjammers. If you ever get a chance to play a Neo Geo arcade machine and it has Windjammers on it, go for it. It's great. It's freaking... It's anime air hockey with superpowers. It's like this crazy battle frisbee game. I just really wish frisbees worked like this in real life. But that thing's addicting. I used to play it all the time back in the day. Spent a lot of my time playing it there. But, well, heck, let me just, give you a tour of the game room.
So we're entering the game room here. As you can see right away, it's pretty huge. Got a bunch of rhythm games right up front, as I said. A little dark, so bear with me. As you can see right here on the walls, instead of having TVs, some of the games are just being projected right onto the walls, and actually got surprisingly good picture, but you got like Smash Brothers, a couple other things right there. Got rows of TVs with console and PC games on them. Up there, they're actually streaming footage of people playing the newer Earth Defense Force game. They got a couple different streams going. That big screen up there in the top corner is Bomberman. Again, that's being streamed from a TV that people are actually playing off of. More rows of TVs with games. Bit of everything here. Let's see if I can make out what they're playing here. There's Mortal Kombat right there. I think next to that is Blaze Blue, if I'm not mistaken. It's hard to tell. And over there is the Earth Defense Force game. A lot of people crowding around that. Some more rhythm games. Didn't really get a good shot of it because I didn't think to go over there, but they actually had a double Beatmania machine there, so that's a pretty cool rhythm game if you get to check it out. There's the Bounce House, of course. They decided to put that in the game room for whatever reason, but it seemed to fit alright. Now back here is where those cool arcade machines I was talking about were stashed. They're in the Japanese candy-style cabinets, which are pretty convenient. That was Darkstalkers over there, I believe. There's Ikaruga. I didn't get to beat that because it kicked my butt, but they're all in free play, of course, so Infinite continues. I just wasn't able to sit down and do it. That there is Windjammers. Unfortunately, these guys didn't put on too much of a good show, but this gives you the basic idea of how the game is played. Apparently they don't know where the dash button is. This cabinet had a bunch of different shooters in. I beat one or two of them on there. That was pretty fun. Another multi-cade. I think that one was mostly Street Fighter. And this was in the corner was the multi-cade with Juno First and whatnot. But yeah, that's the game room.
So now I'm going to talk to you about that most important thing, the scores. I found some great stuff. Dealer's room was a little sparse, as it can be some years, but more than made up for that in the Otaku flea market. But I'm going to start off with one of the kind of weird, almost holy grails. Now, there's this one comic shop that's always there. Tons of figures and comics and a lot of old stuff. I bought frickin' 140 32-pager mangas. I got some Guyvers, some Venus Wars, some Ninja High Schools. Let's see, I got some magazines, some old manga-zines, Manga Visions. I actually got some Jade Man comics, a whole bunch of stuff. I'm not going to go over it all. But this right here, this is the Ninja High School STD special. It's a free comic that was put out as a bit of educational material. Now Ben Dunn, who did Ninja High School, if I'm not mistaken, I believe his brother is actually a medical doctor, or at least received medical training. Feel free to correct me on that, but I'm fairly certain that's right, and that's kind of one of the reasons this was put out. This is actually kind of rare. You can find it, but this is just a really funny oddity to have. Let's see. Another thing. Now this I got at the Otaku flea market. This is a whole box full of little tiny SD Gundam kits. They're only about yay big when assembled. They're between 4 and 6 parts to each one. They're all monocolor. But there's oh god, I forget how many there's in here, but a crap ton of them. Only paid $10 for this, so this was a really nice find. This is the first thing I saw there. I'm like, this is mine. Another fun thing I got at the flea market. Hardcover Gundam The Origin, Volume 1. I forgot I paid for this, but it wasn't much, so if you are a UC Gundam fan, I really recommend you get this. This is basically the original Gundam series, but sort of a retelling. A lot of fans like it. I like what I've read of it, so can't wait to dig into this one. Now, speaking of awesome books, this was one of the things I saw in the dealer's room, and I rarely buy, really expensive stuff brand new, unless it's something completely awesome, but that's what this is. Oh, holy shit, this thing's heavy. This is pretty cool right here. If you are a big fan of Yoshitaka Amano like I am, this is the Sky. This is and this is thick too. This is a 3-volume collection of all of his work he did on Final Fantasy. Now, for those of you who don't know, Amano is responsible for the character designs, and actually most of the designs, for Final Fantasies 1 through 6, so highly recommend you pick this up. It is a little bit pricey. I believe cover price is, $90, but they marked it, and I was kind of on the fence about it, but they marked it down, so I had to grab it. Set that down there. Another thing I got in the flea market, I didn't pay squat for this. This is a Fight Ixer 1 Perfect Collection book. This is pretty cool. It's just kind of like a little, ooh, can't show that. Yeah, those of you familiar with Ixer, you damn well know where I'm going with that, but it's like, like a art book of like the different stuff from the OVAs. Pretty cool old publication. Now, speaking of cool old publications, it's in ready shape, but I didn't pay much for it. This is a family comic issue. I forget what the full title is. I can't read Japanese, and I'm a bit rusty, but the cool thing about having this is the original serialization of some manga, so it's not in collected form. This is the way that fans first read some of this stuff. It has, I think it has some Golden Boy in there. It has original publications of Ghost in the Shell. Actually has some Oh My Goddess in here. A lot of fun stuff in this, so this is a really cool find. I mean, like I said, I can't read a word of Japanese, but this is just a fun thing to go through. Now, there were 2 really special items I got this year, but I thought rather than having me talk to you about them, I know a couple of people who could really do them justice and give you some rather interesting history on these things I bought. So I now go to me live at Colossalcon. Hi, this is Mike reporting to you from Colossalcon. I'm here speaking with Marianne from Art-toons, who has some really interesting things to tell you about a piece I've just acquired.
All right, Mike just picked up the Barefoot Gen manga, volume number 1, printed in 1978. And we acquired this from a good friend of ours named Lorraine Savage. She had the opportunity to reside in Japan for quite a while, and this was from her personal collection. Some of you might know the name because she put out an early newsletter about anime called The Rose. And she was one of the very first proponents of anime and manga, and she did a lot back when you had to just send in your check to her and get this black and white stapled anime sheet, and she did a lot to do that, and she paired off some of her collection and gave us a call about it, and we were very, very happy to offer this, and Mike picked it up, and it was a great find. Another great item Mike picked up that we were thrilled to be able to take to the anime show was a movie poster, not a print and not a movie scroll, but an actual Japanese theatrical movie poster for Lensman, which is a very early anime. And Lensman was one of the titles that was sent out and done by Carl Masak. And Carl Masak was the person who originally was given the task of taking Robotech from the Japanese version and putting it on American television. And he was hired to do this, and he brought it in, and he loved anime, and he left a good legacy for that. And the poster was part of his private collection. And after he passed away, his wife was selling some of his private collection, and we managed to get a couple pieces from it. And that was a very nice legacy. It's got a great, what do you call that? When provenance.
It's got
great
great
provenance. Great provenance.
But I also like to mention that Carl Masak was a real gentleman and so fun to deal with. And we see him every couple of years. He was always nice, gave us great deals.
Mm-hmm.
He was we wouldn't be here today at anime. Anime would not be here in the USA if it wasn't for Carl Masek. Now that's a fact, because he brought Macross over, turned it into Robotech, and from then on it just took right off. So we have that to thank for what he did. How one man managed to pull off this thing. He'd be so proud to see, I think, what's going on right now if he was alive.
All right. Do you want to finish up by telling the folks out there a bit about your store?
Oh, sure. We sell primarily animation cells, both anime cells and American cells. And we do, I want to say 46 shows a year, not an awful lot. And the rest of the time I do mail order, people call up, or I do eBay. But we've been selling cells since 1990. So we're coming up, this is our 24th year. Wow, so we'll be coming up on 25. I know, holy Moses. But we love it. We started out as collectors, and it just sort of mushroomed into this wonderful thing, and we've met people from all over when we do the shows. We love seeing the collectors at the shows, and we just have a really good time. And it's great to see Mike. He pops over to our house every now and then and brings his friends, and we have a good time.
And buy a bit of my soul back.
All right, well, thanks for joining Mike and for seeing a little bit about his new acquisitions, and keep watching his stuff. Thanks.
So yeah, I saw those things there. I couldn't pass them up. And Dan and Marianne there, they are very, very cool people. You get to know them. They're just, they'll hook you up. They'll talk to you for hours on end. You know, it's just a couple of great people. Been in the game for a long time. Yeah, I bought a few more things from them on top of all that. So I was trying to buy a bit more of my soul back, but I'm still about 300 or so that I owe them. But anyway, I guess I'll just end with saying, if you haven't gone out and been to a convention yet, do it. It is a great time. You'll have a blast. You'll find a lot of fun things. You'll learn a lot of fun things.
Vegeta! Are we there yet? No! Are we there yet? No! Are we there yet?
Just kill him already!
Hey, Vegeta!
What?
Let's stop with that bug planet!
Fine! If I'll shut you up for 5 seconds, fine, we'll stop there.
And yeah, the con scene has changed a bit in the past 10 years or so, and even more in the past 20. But, I mean, you're still going to get the main thing out of it, which is going out, finding other people who are into the same things you're into, and just, you know, talking with them, exchanging ideas, exchanging knowledge, and just generally having a big party together. So it's a fun time, and I recommend all of you try it. So, from me here at Maison Otaku, this is Mike saying, enjoy what you watch and share what you enjoy. Good night.